And FYI, if you guys ever get a transvestite, don't accidentally call him this name. Or her again.
Sir, is what you did. You called him sir.
Oh, damn.
It was on accident too, and as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, it's gonna come in and bite me later on. And sure enough, she said something about it.
Guys, real quick, the sales rep measure sheet. Flip it over to the measure sheet. We upgraded a couple things on here. This is your in-house checklist to make sure we're getting everything, we're not missing anything. We are actually going to be putting together a little bit more of like questions to ask the customer, specifics. They'll put together a nice little list of things, you know, just to verify if there is any leaks that are currently going on, if they're aware of anything, if there's any type of wood replacement that they know of. There's a couple real nice things on there. But as far as your guys' checklist in the house, when you're measuring, this should be on your clipboard when you're coming through measuring. I've laminated this along with the process on the back that we're going to go through, so therefore, you know, you're not going to lose it. It's not going to get destroyed, anything like that. It's just a reminder of what's going on. But the total squares of the job for the roof, once you come off of your beacon, or actually the hover, all right, it's going to calculate all of this stuff for you. That's what our 3 o'clock meeting is about, the estimation process, where once we take the pictures of the customer's house, it's going to figure out all of our pricing right there for us. It's going to ask you some questions, so we're not going to miss certain shit on it.
With pricing?
Yeah. It's going to completely price out the 3 packages for you. So it's fucking badass. And that's what they're going to come in and make sure that we're using it. That's why it's very imperative that we all get on the same program. We're all, no more hand measuring stuff. I mean, it's good to know how to do it and everything else and double check some things, but it's all going to be coming off of the beacon. We're going to be doing our ordering from the hover app. It puts together our material list, everything. It calculates everything for us. We know exactly when you're in a customer's house what our cost of every job is before you guys basically even price the job out.
That's actually pretty sweet.
We'll know before you sell it where we need to be margin-wise, everything else, and like, this is our drop dead.
You can actually tell us.
And that's what I've been doing lately. I've been going through them and looking on the computer and asking you some questions. How many layers? There's still some things we do have to input in there, like the layers. The hover app isn't going to dictate how many or be able to count that up. But once I get a little bit of information, are we including gutters or gutter guards? I click submit and it'll come out and calculate your 3 different prices for it, so you can break it down on your price sheet. And then also too, it calculates out what our cost is. So we know before you leave the house, hey, don't fucking walk out of there till we're at 12 grand. You know, there's enough money in it at 12 grand, we're good to go. Or if you're meeting or beating someone's price, there's no unknowns that are going to be involved in it that we didn't add into it, and then, oh, we forgot about this, or we forgot about that. That guessing game is going to be completely over with. So we're going to roll into that more. I don't want to, you know, put the cart in front of the horse because they're coming in to kind of go over and show you guys how to use it. But it's going to come up with your total squares from it. It's also going to calculate our total squares needed for the dumpster based on how many layers. So if you have a 42 square tear out, or 42 squares and it's 2 layers, it's easy to miss shit like that. How many chimneys are on there?
Yeah.
You know, it's automatically going to populate that shit for us.
And edge vent in there too.
And you won't have to worry about measuring it up or whatever. It's just all leaves. But the biggest thing, guys, is getting on the roof and then getting the pictures. These are the crucial things for the checklist that we need. We need pictures of the soffit. We need pictures of the gable venting if they have any, and then we need pictures of the exhaust.
So you just do that with the beacon though, right? Might as well.
In most cases, yeah. You just add it into it. But like on the beacon, you don't necessarily have to have a picture of the soffit for it to work.
Will it mess up the measurement on the beacon if, like, so you do your 8 photos and it says add more, and then you do soffits?
Nope. And that's what we want you to do. Add those extra ones for it.
That says the pictures that you add onto it are not used to make the 3D model at all. So the 8 initial pictures are the most important ones, and then I always add
remember what they said too last time when they were in here. Really, we just need 2 photos, 2 corner angles from the front corner and the back angle. And it can calculate it all from there. They use the other 6 of them put into it just to make sure that if one of the photos is altered or not altered, but if there's a tree or bushes or something in front of it, or you can't get to that close knit next to the garage because of the fencing and you can't get next door, take as many as you can. Get the initial 8 the best that you can. Take any additional photos and then it'll put it all together in the program. There are eyes that are watching this, so when you guys if you're having an issue, put it into the app. Okay, Johanna will go in there or whatever, she's the detail person, and she makes sure that somebody gets on it right away and breaks it down so we can expedite it and get you guys your measurements right then and there. The idea is we don't want to take away that guesswork. Sales, a big part of sales is being confident. And if you're worried about is your measurement right, or I mean Dave's coming and been honest and been like, yeah, sometimes I throw out a price and go, oh fuck, I forgot the second layer of tear out. or I forgot to charge extra for the pitch increase.
Fucks you up.
You know, now all of a sudden, yeah, you're fucked up, you throw it out in front of them, you know in the back of your mind, no, now I'm already a car. I'm not opening above par, I only got limited spot to work with, so, you know, that's gonna eliminate it. But the biggest thing, guys, what he was talking about the other day in passing these inspections is making sure we have these photos. Even if you guys aren't physically calculating the ventilation properly, he can do it if we have the photos. And that's the biggest bitch of what the other day was about. Yes, we should be able to calculate. The more you guys know and you can present that to the customer, it puts you on a, you know, on a pedestal as far as knowing what your shit is and you're professional about it. But we gotta make sure we're passing these inspections. That's the biggest thing. And we can do it if we at least have the pictures. If your calculation's off a little bit or whatever, that's not the end of the world. But we need to know, what are we dealing with? So those pictures are huge. Do they have a gable vent? Do they not? What kind of exhaust it is? Get into the attic. Okay, I just had Tammy order the mold pens. They should be in within about a week. Okay, also for the windows too, the freeze spray we talked about when we were going through the demonstration, those should be in about a week. As well as the money boxes. I know you guys have been asking for them, everything else. We got some of the things, but we're just putting them all together. So I'm hoping by the next 2 weeks you have everything. You know, the mold pens to get up there, the money boxes, we'll have the little respirators and shit for you to go up into the attic, and the lights and
Those pens work too, man, they help you so much solution.
those are sweet. But
Dave and I
when we get
use them
into
at
the attic, couple things to check for. Take pictures of the baffles. Are there any? Okay, do we need to baffle these rafters? Don't we? Alright? The more pictures we can give to production, the easier it's gonna be in passing all of the inspections, and you can eliminate a lot.
Do you know if there's a way that you can stop the beacon from the photos you take going onto the photos in your gallery?
Probably a good question for that.
Yeah, when they come in, we'll ask them that, but I believe so.
Because I can
I
imagine.
think it's just a setting. The same thing like with our WhatsApp. You know, all the photos from the WhatsApp we put on there,
Right.
stuff ends up in your personal shit. But there's a
That's
setting
what I
on
mean,
there where
my
you
phone will be filled
Not that
within
bad,
a
though.
week, like, it won't go full time.
But that's the best part about it, guys. If you take it on the beacon, you don't have to send the photos to anything. It's automatically in the program.
Yeah, that's
It's in the
cool.
system, and then we can just upload them straight into Salesforce. We got all the before pictures. Now for the job, we have all the soffits. So now we just have to send Scott, and when you guys go back out when the job is done, you can take the after photos from the same angle. You know, we can start putting it into your own personal portfolio and stuff. You can show your customers, this is a job I did, this is a job I did here.
Yeah.
And tell the story that goes along with it.
This new app is pretty cool. It's awesome.
Which one's that, the cam?
For the hover.
Oh.
The one we've been using. I mean, I walked around, it was quick, and then I just walked around again for the soffit.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple, and the pricing's gonna be built right off of that as well, so.
Oh, I just
I
go
mean,
to the
it's-
software when I'm there. If I'm in the corner, I'll add the photos. Now you can go and just click whatever side you're on. If there's a fence you can't get through, it's easy.
Wait
to-
till you come around, take
Yeah.
what you need to, and then
Right.
just put it in the
Easy,
building.
because before we used to get there, we used to be able to flip through it and do it, but it was still a bitch, like, to scroll back and do all that.
So they made it a lot easier for it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you just click what corner you're at now.
Two, while we're talking about the hovers, especially for sighting, Dale's been making it a point. Yeah, we're taking pictures of the overhang, but take a picture of the
Porch.
overhang for the porches. Because sometimes there's light blocks and stuff in there, and just going off, yeah, he gets the measurement from the hover app, but he doesn't know, he can't see if there's any light blocks, what he needs to order on that, so take a picture of the soffit overhangs on the porches as well. Make sure that they're included in it, and again, if you do it with the hover, it's not something we have to add those photos later, put into. Also too, with like repairs, you know, I'm just bringing up Anthony, he had a job where we were repairing a certain section of the siding and stuff. Take pictures of that as well. Make sure you got pictures of it, we can draw it in, that's a question I'm gonna ask the guys on hover when they come in too, is if we can sit there and doctor up that photo. And draw on it with your hand, or, you know, on paint program on your phone, an iPad or whatever, and say, this is the section here we're repairing. Don't touch this portion over here. Put cedar shake in this area. You know, we can draw on it and stuff like that, that'll make it a lot easier, and then again, it's right imported into the program, so that should help out. But when you're in the attic, guys, take pictures of the baffles. Do we need the baffles? Do we not? You already took pictures of the soffit, so we know how many vents that are there. If there's no baffles in the attic, we need to know about it. Take some pictures. That's a great selling point. All right, we need to put baffles in there. Last guy didn't go up in the attic. When you're in there, then do the mold pen. So you're killing two birds with one stone. Take pictures of the underneath wood. Okay, is it 1x6? Is it gapped? Space decking? Is it, you know, the OSB? Take pictures of it so we know exactly what's going on. Yeah, you're checking it off, but again, if we have the pictures, it's on the contract, but, you know, did you really even look, or are you just guessing that it had plywood up there? You know, sometimes you can see different sections where it's plywood and then you got space decking on the other side. So take pictures of it. The inside of the gables. Alright, have they already been covered up? Have they not? Take pictures of that so we just know, we need to know what we gotta bring out to the job site. And we don't look like a bunch of idiots. I mean, you're now explaining how we're gonna close up all your gable vents. Show them the picture how your gable vent right now is open. And explain how that airflow is coming through. If it's closed off, it's, yeah, somebody closed it off. So right now you have the gable vent on the exterior, but it's not functioning. That's what it'll, you know, we're gonna make sure that it's sealed off. We're telling you what's gonna happen with it. And then also the underneath, the exhaust. Sometimes you'll take pictures of the exhaust underneath and it's not even really cut. You know, that's, again, talking about the ventilation, the flow. Ventilation is key. When we're talking, we should be putting it into our pitch, and we'll be talking about it more in the next couple of days, but how do we pitch ventilation? Are you talking about the intake ventilation? Are you slamming it hard? You know, we talk about how the flow and everything needs to consist, but are you pulling out the other warranties for every manufacturer that's out there and show how improper ventilation roof is going to avoid their warranty? Scare the shit out of them. Then when you show them these pictures of not having proper baffles and all of this other stuff, you're proving, number one, why the roof is going bad, but how are you going to be able to fix it? How are you going to be able to slap that guarantee on that roof? Well, I'm going to make sure it's properly vented. That's what voids out all of these warranties, by baffling it, by closing off your gable vent, by making sure your ridge vent is cut properly, where right now it's not. These are all things that would void out your warranty, but we're going to make sure we go above and beyond to do it the right way. Once we get the money boxes, we've been talking in here with a couple of the guys, but we're going to call, instead of calling it our digital analysis, like Rodney Webb, I don't know if he's got that trademark or whatever, but we talked about maybe calling it, because there's 7 pieces that are inside of those kits, calling it our 7-point platinum analysis. So, you know, something that I picked up or I heard on the radio the other day, one of the oil change companies talked about their like 18-point inspection. You know, they have these different points inspections or whatever. It's got a nice ring to it where it's like there's a checklist of everything that you're going to be doing for that customer. And it just, again, in their eyes, we're getting an evaluation done. And kind of wrapping the platinum into it and everything else, whether it be 7 points or if we change it to 11 points or whatever we're doing. You know, if we include the mold test in there with the mold pen and stuff. So we're messing around with that, but I want to put a little bit different spin on it where we can just advertise it. You know, get your guys' digital analysis, put them on Facebook and say, hey, call us today for our 7-point platinum analysis. Free. Right now we're offering it free, and then people call it, we're going to find something wrong with the roof. You know that. But it gets the phone to ring, it puts a different buzz on it. It's not, hey, call us for a free estimate. No, we're going to come give you that 7-point analysis of your roofing system, and then we'll come back and say, yeah, your roof is pretty fucked. These are the problems, this is what we can do, this is what we can do to solve your problem. So I think it'll be a nice spin, but we need to make sure we're taking care of all of these things, and it's part of the whole process. I know once we get the money kits and stuff and you guys got them, it's going to make it a lot easier because you're going to be kind of forced to go up into the attic because you're going to want to use this stuff. Well, right now, we just got to make sure, force ourselves to getting up there and doing it now. But getting the pictures is huge. When we have the pictures, it's real easy to identify what kind of decking it is, how many layers. That's a big thing, guys, and the app, no matter what we do, isn't going to be able to figure out how many layers are up there. Ask the customer, number one, they should have an idea, but you got to go up there and check. And check different areas. Some sections are older than others and have 2 layers here, 3 layers there, 1 layer there.
Sometimes they hide the layers in the middle of the roof and they kind of rip off the first 2 sections so that way it doesn't look like it's a 2-layer.
Yeah, on ice and water.
You're not gonna know that.
You're
You're not gonna find that.
But like we kind of talked about the other day too in here, let the customer know that that is a possibility. So if we do come back and say, hey man, you actually got 2 layers up there, and we show them the pictures, it sucks, but you did everything you could, you checked the edges and stuff, but make them aware, hey man, there could be, it's an older house, you don't know how old this roof is, you weren't here, you guys just moved in, there's a chance that that could be, it looks like you got 1 layer up there, however, I've seen it where we start tearing it back, and then up, 2 or 3 courses, you got multi-layers back there.
And that's something if you guys talk about with the customers, I mean, if you just do the simple math on a 30 square job, that's $50 a square, that's only $1,500. So when you're showing them 22, 23, and your tear off's only $1,500, it really, in perspective, that's not a horrible, it's not like it's $5,000 or something like that. It's only $1,500. Oh, really? To tear everything up? Yeah. So it's not, it's not a horrible price that you're showing them if you have to do that. Because it is only $50 a layer.
And you can see it from the attic too. Like, a lot of times, if you can't tell, because they cut the wigs back, if you look between the cracks.
Best thing to do is take your drip edge and look under your drip edge.
Well, sometimes they don't have,
If they cut
It's
it
a-
back,
it's a
it'll-
Very
If they cut it
rare.
back,
Oh, it'll
won't
show.
go under the drip edge.
Oh, it'll show,
If they cut it
absolutely.
back. The drip edge is at the very
Absolutely.
edge.
You pull that back, it'll fucking show, cause they're only cutting it back far enough to install the drip edge.
Just
If they're hiding it.
Let them know that it is a possibility, like the same thing, there might be debris that falls on top of your shit in your attic. You know, if you're getting up in the attic at the time of your inspection, you know if they store stuff up there. Make a mental note, write it down, okay, that they use the attic for storage, so therefore you know to talk about that type of stuff. But if we're not even getting up in the attic, we don't even realize it. Okay, we also talked about it the other day too, where we can install the insulation through the roofing decking. Because we have in-house crews. Before, when we first started doing the insulation, we had to sub it out and we were bringing it in, it was hard to coordinate it all. The ideal situation, yeah, pop off a board, go in there, blow all the insulation in, cover back up and good. But to coordinate both of the crews there was very tough. Now, because they're in-house, we dictate when these guys are there. So we can do it, and then you make that as the selling point. Why are we throwing in insulation with your roof job? Number one, it's gonna prolong life of your roof. It's gonna guarantee that we baffle to make sure it breathes properly. And then it's also gonna stop the heat from ending up in the attic, which is gonna, help prolong the life of your shingles. So for us to come in there while we're doing the roof, to pop off a couple boards, check all that stuff and knock it out, that's why we can guarantee it for that extra expense on it. We'd rather just take care of that and help our customers out in the meantime, we might save some money.
How do you, baffle from the roof that was talking about? Putting in baffles from the roof?
you don't.
I thought that's what he was saying, yeah, you get into that, put the baffles in,
I
right?
think he was just talking about, because when we insulate it from the roof, when we pull it out,
You
then they
walk
can just
right
jump
through
in
it.
and then, go in that way so they don't have, but use it, and why do we do it? Most people have a problem, cleaning out their closets and stuff for everybody to get in, and then you gotta track everything through the house, and it's a big pain in the deal. If you're gonna do insulation, now's the time to do it. For the extra money that you're gonna throw on your financing, you're definitely gonna, it's gonna cost you, maybe $15 more a month on your payment? You're gonna save more than $15 on your heating and cooling. You might as well get it done this time, because it's gonna could cost you up to double if you do it later, just because of the extra work that's needed to be done. That's why we're able to throw it in as a complimentary thing right now with any roof job, because we're already open, we're popping the shingles or the boards off, and we get right in there. But we gotta start making a better habit of getting in the attic. Poking your head up there for sure, see what's going on in there. The roof pitch, you guys should have your pitch charts. There's apps on your phone you can get in there as well. It's gonna come straight off the beacon, or the hover. I keep saying beacon, but we gotta get used to saying hover, because beacon, we no longer even deal with beacon anymore.
What do you mean? Isn't it the same thing?
I know, it's the same thing, isn't it?
Every time I take a hover, it's on the beacon app.
Okay, you gotta delete the beacon app and
I mean, I
download the
don't use
hover.
it, but.
But it is the same company, right?
No.
Really?
No.
Beacon's a supplier.
Yeah, a supply company. And they were the ones who turned us onto the app to begin with. So that's why they have their name in the corner, because we got registered through them. But Hover is the manufacturer, the designers who make that app itself. And GAF has the same thing. They could put their name on it. It's just we got used to seeing Beacon in the corner, and that's what we call it, Beacon. And the new stuff with our estimation and all of that stuff actually has our logo.
So Hover basically does it, like, figured it all out, and then Beacon buys it from Hover, and then,
They put their name on it.
and then.
And they pay
Is that
little
the
fee to it.
company that bought the Allied on 9 Mile and 75?
Yeah, they
Probably.
Okay.
What they were trying to do was set up an app,
Allied
if
and
you
all
took
that
pictures,
Okay.
you could pull that, you could just take the pictures from the app and send it to the supply house, and they'd do a takeoff for you.
That's awesome.
But it never transpired that way.
But so make sure you delete the Beacon app. That's where some of our problems are happening.
Okay.
Download the Hover app, which is the same thing. It's just basically. There was another person that was thrown in there.
Yeah.
So, but that's all. Your pitch is all coming off of that stuff. So make sure. And the reason I got those different things highlighted in red is because that's what usually we had to charge for in the past.
The
This is
reason
all
why
stuff
I
that's going to
haven't
be included.
deleted the Beacon app yet is because every time I try to pull up the PDF that has all the measurements of everything, it gives you the waste factors, all that, it tells me this every single time. You can't read it, but in the top right corner it says access denied. So now if I go to the Beacon app, same guy, view the PDF, gives me everything.
Okay. That could be because you have both versions open. You delete one of them.
Okay.
I would delete both of them and re-download it. And if we can't get it figured out by the time that they leave here today, then we'll, throw your phone against the wall. But again, number of skylights, number of pipes, the chimney size, this is all gonna be coming from the hover. But the biggest thing, guys, is the photos that are on here, making sure we're doing it. And then the additional stuff down at the bottom. The work to be done, we're taking photos of, we're already gonna take pictures of the driveways. Include that in the hover app. Again, it's all being put underneath that file, underneath that customer, so we can see the pictures of the driveway. If they're cracked, if there's oil stains on it already, we want the befores, so we can see exactly what's going on and go back. The drywall, if there is a leak, okay, ask the customer what's going on, walk through the house, take pictures of it, make sure you're going through it. All right, we're covering our ass. I couldn't tell you how many times we've had to go back to the pictures and stuff and look at it and say, no, you had those stains there before we even started it. The nail pops. If you see some of that as you're walking through or whatever, take pictures of it so they don't try blaming us, or that was never there. Bullshit. You can see your paint, you haven't painted your ceiling in fucking 30 years. That's not a fresh nail pop. Alright? Landscaping, the chimneys, take pictures of all of that stuff. And don't forget, guys, we still need to include those lead booklets. I got a couple of them in there, but I got a whole new box that's behind Anthony, down on the ground. We need to cover our ass on that end as well. Make sure we're getting these signed and filled out and everything else. You know, as we start growing and getting bigger, we get a bigger target on our back and people are coming after us. You know, Premier lowballing our shit just to fucking lowball us and stuff. And they find out we didn't give a lead-based brochure here or whatever, and they can call somebody and throw us under the bus. That's how it happens. You pissed off one guy because you stole the deal from him like that, and now he's got a chip on his shoulder. So, be careful on that. All right, flip it over, the process. Guys, I'm going to walk you through what's expected on every sales call. We've pulled this out before, but we got to get back to basics. There's so many times, you know, we pulled out this measure sheet the other day, and Eric was like, oh, I've never seen that before. Okay? We've gone through this stuff before, and I wanted to put it in front, and it happens, guys, and I understand. We throw so much shit out at you, it's real easy to forget something here or there. So the next couple weeks, we're really going to be pounding in and making sure we're going through this constantly. You know, if not once every couple days or once a meeting, just rolling through it to make sure we're not forgetting shit. But be on time. I couldn't tell you and stress how important that is. We are getting busier. You guys noticed on Saturday we were running fucking crazy, going all over the place. We actually bumped and put a couple extra time slots in there. We went from 9s, 12s, and 3s. We went to 9s, 11s, 1s, and 3s on Saturday. So we can put more in there. We got all these shows coming up. Saturdays are booking up big time. Okay, let me know as much in advance if you're taking off Saturdays, because, I mean, don't. Take off anytime during the week. Take 2-3 days off during the week. I don't give a shit. Saturdays are our busiest days, and for some reason they have sucked ass for us. So we're going to start doing breakfast every morning, every Saturday morning. We were at Michael's the other day. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought the food was decent. My bacon was good, I should say.
Yeah.
You know, we might go there. We might try a different Coney Island on Hall Road or something. We might jump around a couple different places, but just to get everybody together, make sure everybody's up, moving around, get some food in them, everything else. The company will take care of the breakfast. And then at that point, you know, here, let's get out there, let's get a good early start and fucking get going. Then you're not running around all day trying to get food and, oh my gosh, I'm starving and stuff, or whatever. You're ready to rock and roll. So be on time. Make sure you're on time to these appointments. All right. If not, let sales assist know. If you're getting there, if you're running late, I mean, I'd rather at least know and let the customer know we're running late than just, I mean, yeah, we might sit there and motherfuck you, Anthony, come on, get there on time, but we want to let the customer know. You know, let us know and everything else. I mean, it sucks. Try not to be late, but let's keep moving.
We'll love the one you're with.
Love the one I'll yell and scream at you.
Well,
Come on, man, what's going on?
Don't be late, but love the one you're with. So sometimes you might
It's a
have to be late.
catch-22, but the biggest thing, guys, is communicate. If you know what I mean, Eric will call me up at 10:30 and it's 10 o'clock appointment, say he ain't gonna make us 3. He's like, I just got in this one, man. I haven't got into my pitch yet, but I'm gonna be here in a while. You know, all right, you got some time, bro. Calm down, but he's still in his 10 right now. That's actually where he's at. Why he's not here right now. So he's loving the one he's with.
He fucking does that, that's for
But
sure.
hey, he
Hey
spends the
man,
time
do what
with
you
them,
gotta
man.
fucking do.
Yeah.
He spends the time. You see, though, there's a lot of stuff on
2
here.
o'clock.
There's a lot of stuff on here. You know, we got to make sure we're going through it. The warm-up. Tell me 3 things about. All right? You know, that's a huge line, guys. How many times you walk up to somebody's house and they say, look, man, you're my first guy. I'm getting 13 estimates. I saw you guys at the show, and, you know, I'm not buying anything today. You hear that all the time?
All the time.
All the time. All right? What is that doing to your mindset right then and there? Right the minute you haven't even fucking introduced yourself yet, and he's rattling this shit out. You know, you had the one yesterday or whatever. Okay, I have a quote from whoever. Here, I mean, I don't even know how that one played out, but
Oh, that one, they had a quote from St. Clair. And, well, it turns out that I grew up in St. Clair Shores, so I've been in this lady's house multiple times with a buddy of mine because she lives right off the water, so we would all go fuck around. And she's like, I know you from somewhere. And then we talk, and anyways, so it's not a normal situation. I normally wouldn't have even talked to her like this, but because I know her, it's tough. But basically, she had a quote from somebody. It was like 19 square, and it was and gutters, but there was only like 40 feet of gutters. It was like $6,000.
Okay.
What the fuck do you do with
When
that?
did you find that out?
I didn't even ask. Joe and I went together and we sat down and she just started rattling everything off. I normally stopped asking that question up
Did you
front.
go through your pitch?
Didn't even get a chance to. She
Okay.
told me that Weather Guard and Pro were both in the house and they opened up at $12,000. She kicked them out.
Great. Take that information, but what I'm getting at is what it made you do by getting that information, you changed your game plan.
Yeah.
You went completely off of what the program.
If I would have followed
Says
that, I
you-
would have got kicked out.
What we
She
found
just
at the
texted
end
me
is
today.
her
Pro
brother's paying
tried to
for it.
leave a quote for $13,000 and I kicked him out.
I'm not saying don't listen to what she's telling you and don't jump into that, but she didn't see your pitch.
No, I
She didn't
know
see
that.
your products and everything else. All she was doing is throwing out a price to see if maybe you could beat it and stuff, but you have no chance of building any value.
Well,
I can do it
so
for $6,000 all day
when
long.
she showed me the quote for $6,000, it's from a company called Sinclair Roofing. They're offering a duration shingle with a
I don't
preferred
give a
warranty,
shit.
and
I'll
they
do it
do
for
cover.
300 square too.
They cover it for. I mean, I can go get the job right now if you want me to. Like, I'll
No,
bullshit.
but I would have sold it for 10.
Wouldn't have
This
sold.
lady, her
Bullshit.
brother was paying for
Bullshit.
it.
Number one,
Okay, then,
the
well,
two
that's a
decision
woman.
makers weren't there.
Right.
That's
But
a
we
Number
found that-
two,
we found that
every single guy that came in over $10,000, she just rushed out of the house and said, "Fuck you."
Okay, well, let me ask
Why
you a
am I
question. When
gonna do
everybody
that?
else is over 10 grand, you have one person that is 6. Everybody else is 10 grand. Do you think everybody that has 10 grand's got something fucking wrong with them, or do you think the one that has 6 grand, when that's 1 out of 5 that has the 6
She's
grand?
got 2 houses on that block with
I'm
Sinclair
not, answer the question.
I'm just saying. Normally that would work, but there's 2 houses on
But
that
that's the
block
thing, don't-
that
don't-
they just did the roof for.
Don't
And there's no
normalize it.
problem. She's talked to those people.
Okay, but there is a
Why-
problem.
Well, there's no problem
There is a
because they
problem.
just fucking put them on.
There's no warranty either.
Problems
I'm
fucking,
just
they
saying.
want a cheap
And I'm
shitty
just
roof.
saying, but what I'm getting at is the first line, you're telling me 3 things about your roof. If you start telling them that, okay, you're not gonna get this information out of that customer, you're controlling that conversation, all right? And they're gonna tell you 3 negative things that's going on with your roof and you can follow your game plan. But what happened, she came out and you guys knew each other or whatever, and she threw out, oh, I got a price from this guy,
Well, I would
$6,100,
like
and I
to
threw
know.
these other guys out
That's
too.
good if she gave you the price anyways. I'd always
But
want the
up
price.
front, all it does is fuck with you and you don't follow your game plan. When the guy says, oh, I'm getting 7 estimates and you're my first guy and I never signed anything today, what is he trying to do? He's trying to get you in and out of his house as quickly as possible because he doesn't want you to sit him down because he might be sold. And if we change and alter our game plan, that's where we can run into that situation. I'm not saying it's going to work 100% of the time.
Right.
No.
But
If she
if I
offers
follow my
prices,
game
I'm gonna
plan,
listen to it.
I'm gonna listen to it, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I'm still doing my
but it's
pitch.
going to fuck with me.
Right.
Just like it did him. He didn't even get into his pitch. He didn't even have a chance to say, yeah, I'll give you your roof for, that's how I would handle it.
Right.
No problem. You want a roof for $6,000? I got one of those.
Right.
Let me just take some measurements, see what we got going on, and I'll show you the different options we have available. Fair enough?
I did
And you
take a
sit
picture
her down
of
and
it.
you go,
Same thing.
you go through your pitch just like you normally would. And then at the end, she's going to come back and say, yeah. Well, the other guys were around $6,000. Well, I can do that roof for $6,000
Yeah,
if you want.
So I totally agree with you. Normally 100% of the time. But this particular instance, it's not going to fucking work. I looked at the contract that the guy left at her house. They
But
cover.
you're doing that in the
they
first
do-
5 minutes.
No, it wasn't the first 5. We were there for an hour. We
But
went
you
up on the
didn't
roof.
even
We
get into a
did.
pitch.
We did.
I don't
do
wanna
it.
see
I didn't
that
do the
contract
normal
till the end.
pitch, and I didn't ask to see it, but she showed it to me. They're covering edge vent. He specifically pulled it out and said, "We are upgrading all the ventilation on your home. You're getting a preferred warranty from Owens Corning." What else can I offer other than the platinum, which she doesn't give a shit, she's leaving.
You're better than the last
I
fucking
know
guy.
it.
You look better than the last guy. You're more professional than the last guy.
Yeah.
Well, her
But
brother.
at the end of the day, she's not paying for it. She doesn't care. Her brother gets on the phone, oh, $6,000, it should be $1,000 cheaper. I'm not pitching the guy who's paying for it.
Okay, and I get that part. But what I'm saying is stick to the program. If we're asking, tell me 3 things about your roof, you're going to eliminate those things coming at you early. Because all it does is fuck with your body and fuck with your game plan.
I'm not
So-
denying that I didn't handle it.
And I didn't know how your situation on that one. I just noticed that, it didn't seem like you pitched that one and you got that
Not really.
information. That's why I don't want to know that information usually till the end. I'll deal with it at the end,
No,
I can handle
I
it at the
agree
end,
with
but
that. I wanna
I'm not
see
gonna
what
have
we
as
can.
much energy if the guy says, hey, I'm getting 17 estimates, you're my first guy, I just filed bankruptcy, and I'm not signing anything today.
Just
I'm not gonna have as much energy in that pitch as if I didn't hear it. You know? They say that though.
It's happened to me.
I mean, one of the things that I brought it up before, one of the things that made my dad good when he sold is he was hard of hearing.
Yeah.
So when they would tell him that shit at the front door, he wouldn't fucking hear any of that bullshit. I'm sitting there next to him going, Dad, didn't you hear him? Let's go golfing, man. This guy just filed bankruptcy. We ain't got no chance. Oh, okay, yeah, we're from Hanson's and this and that. And he goes through the whole fucking pitch, and next thing you know, they're buying. He just filed bankruptcy and shit, but he's fucking buying from us. They put it in his wife's name, or he's got a cosigner, or he's got fucking cash, or pulled it from his 401k, or you never fucking know. But I was ready to walk from it within the first 2 minutes of just hearing that bullshit, and that's the whole idea of that question. Tell me 3 things about your windows. They're going to tell you 3 negative things. They're going to start building up the need in their own head and thinking about what's really wrong with their product. They're not going to tell you all the beautiful things and the features of the windows. No, they're going to tell you the shitty things. And now in the back of their mind, and the wife that's sitting on the couch going, you know what, I didn't realize our windows were that bad. The way my husband's talking about them, they are pretty shitty. I didn't even realize that. Now you have a leg to stand on. Instead of hearing, oh, so what brings me out today? How long do you think about getting this done? I'm not. You said the price was good.